Good afternoon. Welcome to Petals from the Past. I'd like to show a few more pointers as a follow-up to some filming we did earlier with our blackberries. At different developmental stages, I can show you different points. This is the Kiowa blackberry. These plants are fixing to be in their 14th year. They've completed 13 years of production, which is amazingly well for blackberry, which normally live 4 to 6 years. We use a system in here, we refer to it as the T-pulse, which is trellised production. They're on a trellis using primocane suppression. Now, blackberries have crowns, as you can see down here, and we have trained our plants to have 2 canes. Otherwise, there would be many canes coming up out of the ground. We direct one of these canes to the low wire, which is 3 feet off the ground. We direct the other cane up to the second wire, which is 5 feet off the ground. And of course, we're sitting with about 5 to 6 inches of pine bark mulch, which is one of the things that we do. Isn't necessary, but it works beautifully for us, and we like it. But I just wanted to show you today, we're in late August of 2011, our current year, and we've gone through, we have suppressed primocanes, the other primocanes that were here earlier in the year when we were harvesting fruit. They come up just very rapidly and grow. We simply suppress them. We cut those twice in April, twice in May, and once in June, and we simply cut them to the ground. So the only thing you see is the plants that were fruiting with all the fruit on them. The first week in July of this year, then we took out the old canes that have completed their fruiting cycle. And remember, brambles or blackberries are one of those plants that have a perennial root system, a perennial crown, but the canes themselves only live 2 years and then they die. So immediately following the harvest, it's to your advantage to take the old canes out and really push the new primocanes, which will produce next year's crop. And what I'm showing you here is the fact that we suppressed all of this primocane development you see here early, and there was none here. But in the 20th of June, we stopped suppressing them, and when we took the old canes out, some of these new primocanes were up 3 feet or better. Now we've cut the primocane down to the top of the wire, to make them branch. We simply come in periodically, about twice a month, and we simply continue to take off any of these little sprouts that you see here up and down the cane, like you see right here. We simply take those out because we're simply channeling the energy of this plant into developing these branches. We want 2 branches on the top wire, 2 branches on the bottom wire. And you can see the 2 branches here. The other thing we do is this branch develops from this plant. We let it grow all the way past the adjacent plant next to it. Then we cut it back to within about 6 inches of the cane of the second plant. It's just like this little shoot here. Here's the end of it, and it's now almost to here. As soon as it gets to here, we'll cut this branch back to right here. So we've developed a double fruiting system in the space between the plants. These plants happen to be 3 feet apart. That's the original plant that we started with. Commonly now we put our plants 4.5 feet apart in a row, so we space them a little bit further apart. But the beauty of this is it's a matter of coming in, rubbing out the little undesirable shoots that try to develop to train those branches. And we do this, and this is done quite nicely. I have found a chemical that may give us a hand on suppressing these so that we don't have to do as much by hand. But right now we do it by hand. And we do it, like I say, about twice a month. And come October, this entire system will be covered, the wire will be covered with developing shoots. And as these branches move closer together here and pass, and then we cut them back, we simply allow them to develop side branches. And then we trim those in October to about 8 inches as they come out. And it makes all the difference in the world come next May and June. The beautiful side branches here will allow the fruiting system to just more or less cascade over and you can harvest the fruit with an easy system. So I just wanted to show you at what stage we're at today. This is late August. You can see how these plants have developed, and by the end of the growing season we'll have a beautiful fruiting system here that each one will produce on average about 10 to 15 pounds. And that's a lot of fine blackberries for the home gardener.